Zo goed?
Ja. Iets dichterbij.
So now we are in the picture.
Okay. So you are a bit tense.
Me?
You said.
No way.
And you sometimes forget what I said so that you cannot
I could escape.
you remember what you were asking or what I was saying.
I could escape 25 years from your workshops, and then I came with the camera here, and now you got me.
It's nice. So
But I saw this like.
now,
yeah?
what's happening when you are feeling tense? What makes it? What creates the tension? Do you know that?
It's excitement.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a fear or what, but it's like excitement that like the future is unknown, but this moment is so precious. This moment is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling like that you are in this moment so strongly, and I am too. So we are two persons, like, and the energy is moving all the time in this moment. And still, like we are creating this interview, and at the same time I try to create my English words so that I pronounce them.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be
you give it the best you can.
that I don't speak like the Finnish people are talking. So.
So, but you're also working with people.
Oh yeah, I forgot it.
Yes. So why do you do that?
Why do I do that? Working with people.
Yeah. Apart from earning some money.
Yeah, sometimes I get few bucks. It's like working with people is such a deep. You get so deep gratitude when there is a solution in the person's life, when some traumas are released.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a way it always releases my own traumas also.
Mm-hmm.
So, or my father's traumas somewhere in my remembrance. So it's when I put the ego aside, that I'm so good because I can help the person, I'm so clever, whatever. So
let me ask you, who's putting the ego aside?
when I put the ego aside, my ego.
Who is putting the ego aside?
Me.
Who's me?
Well, somebody who thinks he is or whatever.
I think that it's the ego trying to put the ego aside. Why should the ego not be there, you know? What's wrong with the ego? It is just hallucinatory anyway. So you might as well just let it have its fun, you know, while we are here in this cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you are working with people and you see the ego like arising, that how good therapist you are. So it's a double side, because it's impossible to work with people if this feeling rises too much.
Well, it's very, you know, working with people helps you to get to know new aspects of yourself. Everybody who comes into your workshops or into your life, for that matter, is kind of a mirror where you see parts of yourself reflected, and then sometimes you see parts that you would rather not look at, and at other times you see things that you think, wow, if this is also me, Huh?
Mm.
That's nice. But it's basically working with people helps you to become more complete if you can recognize the reflections as parts of you that you have not encountered before.
Say once more this, if you can
Recognize
the reflections.
the reflections of the person that's in front of you, and what you see there, what your interpretations are of that person or that behavior. When you can see that that's mirroring a part of you that you had not seen or discovered before, then it can be enriching. Gradually you become more whole as you come to a point where you can accept that reflection as part of you. Both the positive reflections and the negative reflections. Because sometimes I get people in my workshop that I do not even want to look at, you know.
Oh.
Is it
Really?
oh Lord, can this couple pass by, you know? And then I realize I have to look again because apparently this person is showing characteristics and ways of behavior that I would never think of doing, you know. So then I can discover the judgment that I have.
Yes. As I see you, I see also the picture of you and Osho there. And how do you describe like Osho reflecting you with his awareness?
Well, actually, when I looked into his eyes, what happened was that I saw the immensity of the mystery that I am, you know, behind my personality. The immensity of the mystery that we are all living. It was like disappearing into something so gigantic that it was almost scary. So that was my first glimpse of realizing that what we are is not this body, but not this mind and not these feelings, but something that's even bigger than the whole universe. You know, it's the in-ground, the basis from which everything arises in manifestation and sinks back after you die. And the good thing about, you know, doing the work, as I call it, is that you begin to realize that you are not the body, not the mind, and not the feeling, but something that's facilitating it in its expression.
Yes. Can I move the camera a little bit closer? So. So we don't stop it, we just put it a bit closer.
So this vastness, you know, that is at the basis of everything that exists.
Have you
is what we
experienced?
are, and
Yes.
And it was only the beginning. I had to go through all kinds of other processes before it began to dawn on us that this body is just a temporary phenomenon, and that it has to die. It has an expiry date. And when you realize that it's going to end, and that you cannot take your fame with you, you cannot take your cars with you, you cannot take your women with you, it's going to end.
Not even underwears?
Yes.
Totally naked.
Then you begin to see the relativity of of possessions, the relativity of recognition, because it all vanishes into thin air in the end.
I was wondering, like, I read a couple of years ago your writing about mindfulness, and I remember it, I think it was in Dutch. It was very beautiful writing. At the same time, when I was reading it, you describe from so many corners mindfulness. How would you say, like, what is mindfulness to you?
Well, nowadays mindfulness is being presented as some sort of a kind of meditation, you know,
Yes.
becoming more aware, becoming more present in this moment. But in a way, for most people, it's the other way around. Like we are not capable of becoming empty. We are so full of mindful,
Yes.
that we cannot even begin to realize that there is something behind the personality, which has nothing to do with the mind, which has to do with being, which has to do with the mystery and the joy and the adventure of being in a temporary temple.
But isn't it like the simple teaching of the mindfulness? It's good for the common people who are not.
And it's good for the commerce.
Yes, yeah, it's a big money business also. So in a way, it's good. As a yoga is good, as running is good, dancing is good.
Well, everything that's here is good, you know. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here.
No.
I mean, we have a tendency to say this or that should not be, and it's hilarious because it is there. So apparently, it has to be.
Yeah, politicians are
here, and there's war, and there is hatred, and there is frustration, and all these things apparently have a right to be.
But there's also a lot of love in the world.
So in the end, it all balances out.
And there's awareness because we are sitting on this couch, drinking some coffee.
Yeah, so actually, you know, it's about becoming more and more aware of all these things, of all this duality. And the moment you can see it, you can see that you are split, that you are running after something while you know that it's not going to lead anywhere in the end. So the only thing that helps to become more free is realizing it.
And how do you realize?
The realizing is just like you make a click, all of a sudden you realize that this body is really going to end. It's a temporary
Is it just a switch?
process.
Is it just a switch of thought? If you talk like
it's something that cannot be. You cannot produce self-realization. You cannot do it. You know, it's not something you can do. It is something that can happen when you are willing to look at yourself in all your strivings, in all your desires, and that's why the only thing I can do, you know, here in the groups, in the gatherings, is just create a space where people can stumble upon their own wisdom, where they suddenly have these insights.
I got a feeling that when we step from the everyday life to something unexpected, where we need to look our behavior and our mind and our thoughts differently, and then there comes this anyway kind of small realization start to grow. But if you stay in everyday life into all the same, nothing changes, then we can just sleep and lullaby.
Yeah, that is why people are looking for a guru.
Yeah.
Can give them a kick in the ass, you know, and waking them up for the reality of the temporarity, temporalness of the body mind.
Can you tell about this guru stuff? You say that people are looking for the guru that they can step out from the ordinary life, or
they are looking for who they really are, and they can't find the key, and they hope that the guru will give the key. But
so the
real guru is not giving the key. It's only the guru is only creating situations where you can wake up from your sleep, from the illusion of being a separate entity.
Yes, but the guru needs also to be a little bit like, hey, come here, because he cannot just go away.
Yeah, well,
he has to
actually, you know, for most people in the beginning, the guru is the ultimate daddy or the mommy. And they hope that in the end they can find, you know, the safe haven that they didn't have when they were young.
Do you have disciples?
Well, of course, you know, when you're doing this kind of work, people have a tendency to put you on a pedestal and look up to you, you know. I can only do, you know, everything that I can to let them know that I'm as clumsy and as stupid and as ignorant as they are, you know. And so the sooner they can start kicking me off that pedestal, the better it is. And on the one hand, you know, I was in the beginning when people were starting to idealize me, I could almost start puking, you know. But then later I could see Osho, you know, who was in his compassion, he allowed people to just worship him, knowing that in the end they will have to find out that they are no less or no more than what he is. And the endless patience that he has, you know, to repeat again and again in words what cannot be said in words.
Yes. So, did you worship Osho?
I have been through that period myself, you know, worshipping him.
Yes.
And at the time, I didn't realize that I was looking at myself, even when I was looking into his eyes, you know. It's and coming back from Poona, I had to shout it from the rooftops, you know, that this is the solution, this is the answer, this is the ultimate homecoming. Yes. And I had to learn that proselytizing is not working, because people have to be sort of ripe, you know, for being able to listen and to understand, or to grasp what the guru is referring to. He's referring to it because actually, like I said, you know, it cannot be put into words, and yet the guru has to use words for people to focus, you know, to focus on this question, this ultimate question. Who are you? Who are you behind your assumptions and behind your body-mind? And when you start realizing that what you are is this huge nothingness, it scares the shit out of you in the beginning. You run away, you know. But you know that there's truth being spoken, so you come back and you look again and you look again. until in the end the fear sort of starts subsiding and you become familiar with that underlying nothingness. That's what we really are in the end.